Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Umachuku, and these are the top stories. CCSGG alleges Tinubu under pressure to nail Yahaya Bello over 80 billion naira fraud. Nigerian Air Force debunks helicopter crash in Kaduna. Customs intercepts large catch of arms, drugs in Port Harcourt. Former APC chieftain alleges Northerners in Tinubu's reduced to cheerleaders. And INEC announces 142 recommendations to improve Nigeria's electoral process. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The world news begins with this development where a coalition of civil society for good governance is mounting pressure on President Bola Tinubu to ensure the prosecution of former governor of Kogi State Yahaya Bello over alleged fraud totaling 80 billion naira. You will recall that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had charged Bello to court, but his prosecution had been delayed, sparking concerns about the government's commitment to fighting corruption. The National Coordinator of CCSGG, Okpanachi Jacob, and the Coordinator of the Kogi Conscience Liberation Movement, Peter Onuma, during a joint World Press Conference in Abuja today, urged President Tinubu to expedite action on Yahaya Bello's fraud case. Okpanachi cited the need for Tinubu to address public skepticism about his administration's sincerity in fighting corruption. Okpanachi said, and quote, "We commend the EFCC's efforts but urge them to do more as citizens are losing hope and doubt in the fight against corruption. We call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure that the right things are done promptly as pleaded by Kogi State citizens to restore hope in the renewed hope agenda and demonstrate his commitment to fighting corruption. Corruption threatens our statehood, impedes social, economic and political progress and reduces confidence in our system. We must act now to show that we are serious about fighting corruption." End quote. On his part, Onuma faulted Bello's call for his fraud case to be transferred to Kogi State, noting that it was an attempt to bypass court processes. In another development, the Nigerian Air Force has debunked reports of a helicopter crash in Kaduna on Monday, which is the 1st of July 2024. The Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gokwet, in a statement today said, end quote, "Be informed that no helicopter crash occurred. Instead, a Nigerian Air Force unmanned aerial vehicle experienced a mishap after takeoff for a mission at a location near Urumji village and about 15 kilometers from base." The statement explained that since it is an unmanned vehicle, there were no casualties on board or on ground. He stressed that Nigerians can be rest assured that a minor setback would not in any way impede on all ongoing operations. He also stated it should also be pointed out that the propensity to always rush the press in the name of breaking news without a hold of the complete facts should be discouraged. He further noted, and quote, "This attitude should be discouraged as it negates the principle of developmental journalism, balanced reporting and fairness." The NAF spokesman urged the media to always seek clarification from relevant authorities before reporting issues concerning the military. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Customs Service today intercepted a 40-feet container laden with various categories of arms and 9 containers loaded with codeine at Onne Port, Rivers State. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, who displayed the intercepted weapons and drugs to newsmen at Onne, Rivers State, said the weapons were brought into the country from Turkey. He said the weapons and drugs were concealed in fairly used clothes. According to him, some persons arrested in line with the seizures are still in detention and would be prosecuted. In another development, former National Vice Chairman, Northwest of the All Progressives Congress, Salihu Lukman, has claimed that politicians from the north have been reduced to cheerleaders in Bola Tinubu's led government. He described them as members of a choir group poorly singing, "On your mandate we stand," irrespective of the shaky and staggering reality being demonstrated by the mandate holder. According to Lukman, the opportunity for northern political leaders to redeem themselves and return the North back to a rational order with committed leaders capable of responding to the challenges of the region was blown away during the tenure of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. In a statement he personally signed, titled Explosive North Open Letter to Northern Politicians, he said political leaders in the country must be cautioned that things were about to get out of hand any moment from now, especially in the North, and if care is not taken, hungry people who are everywhere in the region will start breaking into homes and looting properties of innocent citizens. Still on the world news at 6, Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, has disclosed that the commission has made 142 recommendations to improve future electoral processes. Mr. Yakubu made the statement today in Lagos at the opening of a 2-day induction retreat for resident electoral commissioners. He said the commission had published a report on the review of the 2023 elections and that it was already available on its website. Mahmoud said, and I quote, "I can tell you that the Commission has made 142 recommendations on the improvement of the electoral processes in Nigeria." The INEC chairman said the electoral umpire would inform the public on the reform when the report is concluded. According to him, he stated that the reforms are categorized. Majority are for implementation by administrative actions by INEC, but some are to be implemented by security agencies. On the retreat, the INEC chairman said it was not just about the induction of new appointees, but an opportunity to review performance, reappraise processes, discuss innovations, and engage service providers. He said that it was also an opportunity to interface with lawmakers on critical areas of reform and explore new frontiers in continuous effort to improve organizational capacity for better delivery. Mr. Yakubu said INEC will conduct 4 major elections before 2027, listing them as the Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun governorship elections. You're currently listening to the World News at 6 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into our news analysis segment, and of course, I actually have right here in the studio a political, national, and social affairs commentator, and of course, I will reveal the person once we're back from this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. You're currently listening to the World News on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. In a recent development, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has told the senator representing the FCT, Ireti Kingibe, to go and hang herself on a transformer if she is not happy with what he is doing in the FCT. Wike also declared that he is not asking to be anybody's friend, but his focus is on doing the job for which he was appointed by President Bola Tinubu. The minister made the statement today in response to an earlier claim by the senator that FCT residents are not impressed with Wike's performance. She had alleged that Wike is out of touch with the needs of the FCT residents. According to her, the FCT has no school, no hospital, and lacks potable water. However, Wike in response told her that he is not in office to please her, adding that he has done well within the short time of his appointment. He also questioned the contributions of Senator Kingibe to the welfare and development of the FCT, its residents, since she assumed office as their legislator in the National Assembly. Wike went ahead to challenge Kingibe to contest the FCT seat again in 2027 if she thinks she is popular. Also, Wike confidently assured that she would lose the election, saying what happened the last time would not repeat itself. I would like us to actually take a listen to what Wike said in regards to that.
Yes, if you're angry, well, hang yourself. If I've done well, we have done well. If I've not done well, we have not done well. And we're proud to say, in this short time Mr. President appointed us, now we have done well. will free you.
All right, of course, you just had Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, there speaking on the situation with Senator Kingibe, and that was literally a threat. Well, my guest right here in the studio is Barrister Darlington. He is a political, national and social affairs commentator, and of course, he'll be responding to some of the questions that we posed to him. Barrister Darlington, good evening, and thank you for joining us on the World News at 6.
Good evening, Esther, and how are you?
I am fine. I sincerely do appreciate you being here for, having to get more insight on some questions that I will ask you. Let me start off with Nyesom Wike. It's not surprising that he's full of that confidence to prove that he has the connection and the drawstrings to actually go around and far for those who are his supposed friends and those who are his enemies. He has the trump card to supposedly crush them. And of course, his focal point was actually Fubara, the governor of Rivers State. Well, we would not say that he's out of that focus. At the moment, we'll say the political destabilization in Rivers State is basically impugned by Nyesom Wike. And now he literally threatened Senator Kingibe, says if she's not happy with what he is doing, she should go hang herself on a transformer, and threatened that come 2027, she will definitely lose the re-election, if at all she wants to go on again. I mean, where does that place Nyesom Wike? Where does that authority and brazenness come from, especially in this time of our democratic dispensation, that he would literally, via the media, on a very open platform, threaten and tell her, let me see you run again, and definitely you would lose it?
Thank you, Esther. This infamy being committed by Wike all over the place, it is because APC allowed it.
Well, this is not the first time you're making this statement.
Yes, they allowed it because in the first place, it is an aberration for Wike to be in APC and be in PDP.
Okay.
APC is in power. How come they are tolerating Wike? That means they have groomed Wike to spoil our democracy. That is why he now talks about, who will win and who will lose. He's not even thinking of the people, talking about the people's vote. It is not about him who will fail you. On what ground? APC is the problem we have, not Wike. They allowed him to be doing what he's doing. It's an aberration. Since the independence of this country, we have never had this kind of thing in this country. Never.
Barrister Darlington, would you say Senator Kingibe is right that the residents of the FCT are not impressed with what Wike is doing there? According to her, she said Wike's performance in the past 1 year since he received that portfolio has been extremely poor. The roads are bad, insecurity is on the rise, and there is no potable water. So for her to make that expression to the FCT minister, has she said anything wrong? Is that not a way of asking him to step on his responsibilities, refocusing or rechanneling his energy on his portfolio than what is going on in Rivers State?
Thank you for that question. In fact, if I were Wike, I should go indoor, I should go in-house and think of what the woman told him. Is it true that there's no water in a federal capital territory? I'm sure people are making up with a borehole here and there and well water in a federal capital territory. I am very sure the roads are not there, and insecurity, that one is obvious. So what is that thing Wike have done except the train ride he built for Tinubu, who gave him a marching order? And because Tinubu rode on it, and so what?
But despite
how much did that thing cost the people of Nigeria? That train they built, how much did it cost us? You carried all the money just to satisfy Tinubu, who told you want to ride on it, and because of that, you concentrated on it and left every other thing. Look, these strong men we are building in Nigeria will crash this democracy. Seriously.
Well, there's been, let me use this word. There's been this tease Nyesom Wike has been exhibiting, has been displaying ever since he was given his portfolio as the FCT minister, from his involvement in what is going on in Rivers State to blatant statements he has made concerning the situation in Rivers State, and now to the situation with Senator Kingibe. I want to draw your mind back to the fact that just last week, an army general was killed in his house in an armed robbery attack well, if that man was killed with his own gun, I want to see it as an assassination procedure, not necessarily an armed robbery attack. But this is the FCT, and that is one in many other cases where persons have been killed, kidnapped along that particular route. And this is where the president's, the Aso Rock, the home of the federal government is situated. Wouldn't you say or think that Nyesom Wike will be far troubled with this development rather than focusing on petty issues, that he ought not to actually make threats like this on a platform?
My dear, he is doing the bidding of his paymasters.
Who is the paymaster, Barrister Darlington?
The paymaster is those who employed him and who are watching what he's doing.
Are you saying that the insecurity in the FCT is something that is being allowed by the president? Is that not the reason why the FCT minister is there to quell some of these challenges in the FCT?
That's what I'm telling you. If those who appointed him are not asking him what is going on under your watch, then that means he's doing what they like. That's why they allowed him. I mean, if you give somebody a job, there must be some milestone you expected that person. What has he achieved? Has he achieved any milestone? No, has Wike achieved any milestone?
But the president said he was happy with Wike's works. He said he's proud of what Wike is doing. The last time he visited, he complimented Nyesom Wike for his good works.
Because he built a train for him. Is that not true? That is the only thing he did. And I'm asking you, have you checked the cost of that thing he did? Whenever they are doing infrastructure, they go and check. The treasurer is over. Because that is where they make up. The real thing that will concern the masses, they won't touch it. They look at those things that will give them money. Has anybody probed? Remember, he collected a budget of over 1 trillion naira.
Exactly.
Supplementary budget. And that's what he used to put in that train. And nobody's asking questions. So whenever they are building infrastructure like that, go and check. At least we have seen it time and time again. That's where this thing that this lady talks now, it doesn't concern him.
But if the president is residing in the FCT and most of these issues are being experienced by the residents there, hasn't it got to his ears? And why has he not called him to order? Does it mean that the president is happy with the nonchalancy from, that department? Is the president happy with the insecurity in the FCT? Is the president happy with the complaints that Senator Kingibe just made?
No. Look, at what point did they start caring about the people? I just told you here that as long as they do those things that will favor them, you doesn't matter.
But does it give Nyesom Wike the right and the impetus to come out on national television via a press conference to tell a senator to go hang herself, that he does not intend to become anybody's friend? His focus is on doing his job. If he was doing his job, would the senator representing that constituency come out to say what she said?
That will tell you how far he has gone so far. He has said worse things, no. Esther, you just knowing Wike today. He has said worse things under this administration and nobody called him to order. He has said several worse things that you can't even attribute it to somebody of that height. The way he talks, I was even thinking that maybe that thing Atiku said about somebody drinking with what the branded hot drink as early as 11 o'clock in the morning. It could be true, because when he talks, he reminds me of those people at Oshodi. Why can't he be decent for once? Look at how he talks.
That's the way his voice is.
Which voice? Which voice? Go and check. Something is wrong somewhere. This cannot be the voice of a minister of a federal capital territory of Nigeria. No, there's no decency in him. The way he talks irritates me.
But Barrister Darlington,
and there's no decency. How could you talk to somebody's wife? Go and hang yourself in. What kind of talk is that? No, what is it called? NBC and other, they will not hear this type of statement and call him to order. They will not, because he's an APC person now. Look at that. He has several flagrant statements here and there. He's talking down on River. He talked on everybody. Look at what he told Chief Mike Ezekome the other day. When the man was cautioning. Instead of you to take the advice and go and look inward and see whether what they are telling you is true, you start reading causes, abuses, and all that. Is that how a minister is supposed to talk? Please answer me. Is there any decency in the way that man talks? That they should return him? Is that not enough to ask him to go and sit down, go and learn manners and come back? If I were Tinubu, I would tell him go and learn manners. But Tinubu, for whatever reason, he allowed him. He has become his attack dog. Whenever you say anything about this government, he will be the one to. I don't know. I said that I keep saying there is something between the Wike and Tinubu. Maybe with time we'll find out. I'm telling you.
All right. Speaking of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you do know that the coalition, that was the first news story I read out when I started the World News at 6. Coalition of Civil Society for Good Governance, they're mounting pressure on the president to ensure the prosecution of former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. I'm sure you know that the last time Yahaya Bello was supposed to appear in court, he did not appear in court. And because of that, one of the legal counsels representing him withdrew himself from the case when the EFCC, that is the prosecution, said that since he cannot provide his client, then he should be kept behind bars until his client is produced. And then, of course, we heard Yahaya Bello say that he'll prefer his case to be heard in the Kogi State High Court because that's basically where the alleged crime was committed. Now, we do know how the whole Yahaya Bello case happened. Those who came to help him out, Usman Ododo as well as Nyesom Wike. And when the two different court rulings came on that particular day, I'm sure you know about that. But the question that was asked to the EFCC was that why was he not arrested on that very day? If they came in with their men, if they had all the arms on them, what stopped them from taking Yahaya Bello? And secondly, where is Yahaya Bello that is difficult for the EFCC to produce him like they did when they went to a hotel to raid and they apprehended about 117 youth?
This is what you see when you have a country run by this kind of people. Our rule of law has been taken to the back burner. There is nothing like rule of law again in Nigeria. But with the things are going. I mean, it's obvious. The people that are protesting, telling Tinubu, is it the right person for you to approach? When did the Tinubu become EFCC chairman?
That's a question.
They should have gone to the right place and protest now. Asolu Korede, you told us you will leave office. What is going on? What is going on? These are the where you should direct your attention, not Tinubu. I'm telling you, as far as I'm concerned, Yahaya Bello is in their good book. If he's not, somebody would have told him where he is. Somebody would have told you to go and pick him up. I am telling you, the next thing you hear now is that Yahaya Bello is no longer in Nigeria. That they are still looking for him. That if you have information where is he, you should tell EFCC.
The spokesperson of the EFCC, Dele Oyewole, had actually said that there is an increasing tendency of persons and groups under investigation by the EFCC to take laws into their hands and recruit thugs to obstruct lawful operations of the EFCC. He was referring to Ododo intervening when the EFCC came to arrest or rather apprehend Yahaya Bello. And he said that it is not a good thing. Now, I want you to recall that Ododo's action was not the first attempt by incumbent governor to stop a security agent from arresting an influential Nigerian. When the DSS was raiding homes of judges at the ungodly hours in 2016, then Nyesom Wike was the governor of Rivers State. He also prevented the secret police from arresting Justice Mohammed Liman of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt. So the question is, why do these influential persons have a possibility or a strain of restricting the EFCC when they come on board, but such application is not applied to the average Nigerian?
That will tell you that these people, there is a place they meet where they now enact their own law. There is a different law governing these people, Esther. There is a place they meet to decide what is good for them, to decide how to protect themselves. That is what is going on. Can't you see it?
Nyesom Wike foiled the attempt by the DSS to arrest Justice Liman on October 8th, 2016. The same thing too with Usman Ododo obstructing the arrest of the EFCC on Yahaya Bello, despite the court order for Yahaya Bello's arrest. And now Yahaya Bello is somewhere telling the court where his case should be taken to and deciding how his case would go. And up till now, we've not heard anything from the chairman of the EFCC after he said that if he is not prosecuted, he will definitely step down. So the question is this: if the president, if this administration intends to ensure that there is law and order in every cadre of the Nigerian society, how do they intend to start off if within themselves there is no sanitization?
Esther, my Bible said that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The foundation is already deformed. This thing that you are talking about here, look at the head. You know that every human being, you can see somebody without a hand walking along the streets. You can see somebody with one leg. But have you seen anybody without a head work? It's not possible.
What relationship do you think the president has with Yahaya Bello? What is that relationship as close as what he has with Nyesom Wike? What's that very thing that you think the president has not tried to intervene to ensure that law and justice takes its course in Yahaya Bello's matter?
Birds of the same feather flock together.
In what regard, Barrister Darlington?
Good. When you see corruption, you know, when you see corruption being protected by corruption, what does that tell you?
Well, who corrupted? Who is protecting who in corruption?
Please, all the people you mentioned there that are shading Yahaya Bello, what is their record? Let us start from there. On what ground do you think any of them would allow Yahaya Bello to go down? Because he may mention names. I have told you here, they like to protect them. There's a separate law for them.
So you think there's a possibility that Yahaya Bello's case will slowly be pushed on the road?
What things has happened in this country? Even though that we are properly convicted, they were brought out from the prison and given national honor. Didn't you hear what Obla was saying the other day? Didn't you hear Obla interview? That to those who collected money, who stole money, who embezzled money, that even when they made effort to collect the money, that the former president gave them back the money. Obla, he was part of them who are recovering a stolen property. Didn't you hear that? What does that tell you?
Barrister Darlington,
you don't know how these people have battered this corruption.
If corruption continues to be enabled, how do Nigerians believe the president when he makes public utterances that Nigerians should please bear with the administration? They're doing their very best to ensure that Nigerians get out of this current economic quagmire. If the judicial system is not sanitized, if the law does not apply equitably to all and sundry, how should the president or how should the administration expect Nigerians to trust their administration, or for a form of a sense of transparency to be ensured in his administration?
Really? So you're asking me, Abi? Oh, do you think they will come and tell you that they are dealing with you, that they are punishing you? They will come in a subtle way, subtle manner. The same thing that man did with Eve in the Garden of Eden. He came and said, Eve, this apple they say you should not eat it is good. It's good, very good. If you eat it, you will have life. You will be wiser. Just take it, take small. Eve didn't know what was going on, and she took it, and the rest is history. So they will come to you in a subtle manner. You won't know until they are finished with you. Is that not what Buhari did in 8 years? Pretending to be a Mr. Integrity. At the end of the day, look at what happened. And this man told you he was coming to follow his footsteps.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari said he was not in the know of a lot of the corruption practices ongoing within his cabinet.
Really? Then why was he there? Esther, why was he there? Is it a crime to resign from office if you know you cannot handle it? We have seen people who resigned before now. People with integrity. That's why I keep telling them, we don't have politicians in Nigeria.
In the history of governance in this country, nobody has ever relinquished power.
Nobody. On what ground? You will not resign, no. Resign for what? I said people who were caught in deep corruption. They are even looking at you in the face and even asking you, and so what?
So why is Yahaya Bello running from the EFCC if he, according to him, if he says he is not guilty?
Has anybody pleaded guilty before? Ibori did not plead guilty until they ran him out of town and he was caught up by British law. That is Nigeria. It is only in Nigeria that these things can happen. Esther, we don't have leaders in this. I've been saying it. Until we have leaders who have integrity, Nigeria can never move forward. People who will steal money brazenly, openly, and they are not even ashamed.
So why has he not made accountability for 80.2 billion naira? Let's even start from there. If you say that you did not embezzle this fund, why don't you make the prerequisite expression of where that money went to and what it was used for? Possibly question the current governor of Kogi State to actually give an account of that money if, according to Yahaya Bello, he did not steal that money as alleged by the EFCC.
No. In Nigeria, corrupt leaders don't give account. They don't give account. They only appoint somebody who will cover them when they are leaving office. That's what they do. And look at it. Look around. Look around. It's even more prominent under APC. They make sure they appoint somebody who will cover their track and continue from where they stopped. That's what they do. Didn't you see what Ododo did for him?
So are you saying that our judicial system has been balkanized by the politicians, and are we saying that there will be no reprieve for the common man when it comes to the judicial system? I
am not the one that said it. The outgoing CGN said it. Bensam said it. All of them have been lamenting on what politicians are doing with them, the judiciary. And some of us, we are ashamed. We are ashamed, but this is the same judiciary Justice Toputa passed through. This is the same judiciary Justice Esho Kayode Esho passed through. This is the same judiciary. Many of them of you, Daniel Alexander, all of them, they passed through. What happened to integrity? What happened to judiciary being the last hope of the common man? That somebody will come and tell me, a judge will come and tell me that somebody is intimidating him, harassing him, threatening him to pass judgment in his favor, and you have the mouth to say it, then you are not worthy to be in that office. You better leave. There are people who can do it under the military. We saw what judges did under the military. They look at them in the face and tell them the truth. Then under a common civilian like you are being threatened. Instead of you to tell us why you are in bed with them, you are telling me that you are threatening.
In a real circumstance, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not meant to interfere in an institution that already has a leader and has its act to go against those they consider to be criminals. Now, they feel, this coalition feel, that the president, or rather the EFCC, seems to be handcuffed to do the needful when it comes to the prosecution of Yahaya Bello, and that's why they're calling on the president. Do you think the president will say anything in regards to this?
Already, he has made a statement, and that statement is the tongue in the cheek. If they want Yahaya Bello to be prosecuted, my dear, he would have been prosecuted. Those they want to prosecute, you know what they did. Look at Nnamdi Kanu. They went all the way to go and rendition an innocent man into this country. Why can't they make the same effort and get other people that ran away and call, like the former Attorney General, Malami? Sebi, he has taken off. He has taken off out of the country. Why are they not looking for him? You were here. Even the former EFCC chairman who later died, Lamode, you saw when he ran away. He later came back and they gave him a bigger office. When they want to prosecute you, they will do everything. If they don't want to, that's why they will be pretending as if they don't know what is going on. My dear, we are in a very deep mess because now the legislators, the National Assembly cannot help the matters. The judiciary cannot help us. The executive, in fact, they are deep in infamy. So, where is that place now that will make this Nigeria to grow? Where? Tell me where. If all these things are broken down, tell me where. So, when they are telling you they will do something, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. There is no light. There is no tunnel, not to talk of light there. There is no tunnel at all. Go and show me the tunnel. Then I will start looking for the light.
Barrister Darlington, thank you so much for taking your time to give us your insight on the questions posed at you on the World News at 6. I sincerely do appreciate your input.
Thank you, Esther.
And now to wrap up the World News at 6, here again are the top stories. CCSGG alleges Tinubu under pressure to nail Yahaya Bello over 80 billion naira fraud. Nigerian Air Force debunks helicopter crash in Kaduna. Customs intercepts large catch of arms trucks in Port Harcourt. Former APC chieftain alleges Northerners in Tinubu's government reduced to cheerleaders. And INEC announces 142 recommendations to improve Nigeria's electoral process. That's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good evening and thank you for listening. Up next is the Evening Rush with Precious.